We are there to denounce, to protest, to march, because our leaders failed to do their basic duty of protecting human rights and international law.
The global march to Gaza and the Sumoud convoy. Thousands of people from across the world are planning to drive and peacefully march all the way to the Gaza border, through Egypt, to break Israel's suffocating blockade and put an end to the restrictions on life-saving aid getting into the Strip. But will they actually be able to reach the Rafah border, or will the Egyptian and the Israeli authorities stop them? So we managed to speak to one of the main organisers of the global march to Gaza, Saif Abukeshek, just before he flew out to Egypt. Can you explain to us the logistics and the numbers, how many people are coming from different countries, and what the plan is?
Well, the plan is to march. So right now we have people traveling from around 80 countries, 4,000 people, different backgrounds. You have lawyers, you have medical staff, you have people who represent solidarity organizations, you have people who represent unions, you have people, parliamentarians, politicians, activists, and you have people, simple people who work in their day to job, and they cannot be silent anymore. And they are all traveling from different countries. Some of us are traveling by 5 hours airplane. Others are traveling by 24 hours airplane. We all are arriving to Egypt between yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And for us to start marching on the 13th, to take our buses for 320 kilometers to go from Cairo to Al Arish, and then to walk 50 kilometers during 3 days until we arrive to Rafah, camp on Rafah for another 3 or 4 days. And through all that period, we will be organizing activities to denounce complicity and to make pressure on the international community to stop genocide and to allow humanitarian aid to go to Gaza.
What has the relationship or the contact been like with the Egyptian authorities?
Well, we have done everything that we can in this regard. We look to that context from that perspective is, so Egypt talks about to allow humanitarian aid to go to Gaza. We support the same demand. They call for an end to genocide.
Yeah.
We support the same demand. They are against the displacement of Palestinian people.
Yeah.
We support the same demand. So I think we are on the same side. I mean, from our perspective, we look to Egypt as an ally, as an important element that can allow this march to succeed. And we haven't done we did take any step that would them think otherwise. We didn't organize inside Egypt. We have no Egyptian delegation. We are not mobilizing in Cairo. We are going by buses to not to create any kind of public gatherings.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we have contacted officially all the different embassies. We had meetings with some of the ambassadors that were positive meetings.
Yeah.
We sent letters on behalf of the movement by parliamentarian members directly to the foreign affairs in Egypt.
Yeah.
So we have done all those steps. And we really hope that Egypt will take that in consideration and will look to this as a positive, peaceful march, and will cooperate in organizing and allowing this march to go on.
On the back of the Madeleine Freedom Flotilla being intercepted and its crew being arrested by Israel, what do you anticipate from the Israeli side?
I mean, every time we talk about what Israel may or may not do, they just exceed in expectation of committing crimes and violation of human rights and international law.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can expect everything from Israel. We have seen how they killed civilians, how they attacked international convoys, how they attacked humanitarian convoys. They have no respect for any of any elements of life principles. So what we have decided is to focus on what people in Gaza are suffering from.
Yeah.
And we understand any risk that we might go through is not considered a fraction of the risks that Palestinians in Gaza deal with on daily basis. So that's our focus. We don't really, Israel doesn't scare us anymore. They have committed so many crimes that it's shame on international leaders that they are allowing it to continue. So we are there to denounce, to protest, to march, because our leaders failed to do their basic duty of protecting human rights and international law.
Does the march to Gaza, does it kind of accomplish what the Freedom Flotilla was stopped from doing?
I mean, it's really difficult to put things in this term. I think all movements that are being mobilized right now between Freedom Flotilla, between the Tunisia convoy, between the March to Gaza, aim to put a spotlight on international complicity, on the Israeli crimes, on genocide, and to focus on breaking the siege to allow humanitarian aid to go inside. And this is not a one step action. Like, it's not that we go, we knock at the door and it's open for us. It's part of an advocacy campaign that just keep building up. Because occupation has been going on for 78 years. Gaza has been under siege since 2006. For the past 20 months, people have been living under genocide that is being streamed live to all the countries. What we have to do is to basically open our imagination, break all the restrictions that we put around ourselves of what can we do and what what can't be done, and focus on no, anything that we mobilize for, we can do. And therefore these mobilizations are part of this global perspective, are the part of this global motion that that will have to continue moving forward, and will have to continue going in that direction. This is a step in many that will come.
Okay. What is your plan for when you reach Rafah?
As mentioned before, we are going to camp for 3 to 4 days at Rafah border, during which we will make media campaigns, we will make advocacy campaign, we will make lobbying campaign at politicians. We will try to show the world that these people who came from all the places are standing together where leaders failed to stand. And then we will take an opportunity of that time also to organize some meetings and workshops between the participants, so we can, build for what is coming next.
So there's been some online campaigns that have tried to maybe criticize or smear this movement and this campaign. What do you think about them, and what has your response been?
I mean, it's really difficult to please everyone. I mean, whatever you do in your life, you will find someone that they don't agree with it. In a recent interview that I had with Jonathan, the spokesperson of UNRWA, one of the biggest humanitarian organizations that are working in Palestine, he was asked a similar question: what do you think about this type of movements? And as a humanitarian organization, he said, we are not able to do our job because there is a country, there is a man-made disaster that is preventing us from acting, from delivering humanitarian aid, from doing the work that we should do. And those type of actions, of mobilizations, of movements, those are advocacy campaigns that are essential to make pressure on on the Israeli government for humanitarian organizations to be able to do their job. We have done nothing from our perspective that should provoke such backlash. We have responded to a call that came from Palestine. So this is a response to the Palestinian civil society. We have consulted and coordinated and worked together with the Egyptian organizations. So also we are a little bit feel strange because most of the civil society organizations in Egypt that we talk to, they all support. We don't claim that we spoke to each individual organization, but the ones that we spoke to, they are all supporting this movement and this campaign. And we took all the necessary steps to make sure that we are not creating any uncomfortable situation for anyone who's in Egypt. That's why we don't have an Egyptian delegation. We don't have a public gathering. We speak very clear about the participation, the transparency of a peaceful movement, the coordination that we are aiming to do with the Egyptian government, with the authorities. So we don't understand where this is coming from. But there is a website called Saddash, which is an Egyptian website that they published a report today, an investigation showing exactly who are making these type of backlash and comparing it to the statements and organizational aspects that came from the movement.